Today is Tuesday, September 26th, and as Korea transitions from summer to fall, the weather is likely getting cooler, and the leaves may be starting to change color, creating a beautiful autumn landscape. It's a season known for its crisp air and vibrant foliage. These days, society in Korea is in turmoil due to left-right ideology issues. I would like to introduce you to the history of the left-right conflict in Korean politics, origins of modern left-right dichotomy in Korea. In general, the terms left and right in politics can be defined as follows. The left represents a political stance that strives for equality and aims to address social, class, and economic disparities. It seeks to rectify inequality through state intervention and endeavors to transform society into one characterized by universal equality for all. The right, on the other hand, refers to a political position that defends the existing social order and private ownership. It often aligns with social conservatism, advocates for free market principles, upholds private property rights, and emphasizes the importance of strong national security. Korean political history has been marked by a prolonged and deeply rooted conflict between the left and right. This conflict has evolved over time due to various factors such as national development, shifts in political dynamics, and societal tensions. Remarkably, it continues to exert a significant influence on Korean politics to this day. The division between the left and right in Korean society has been shaped by an enduring ideological struggle. This division has persisted for an extended period, and it becomes particularly pronounced during election cycles. The roots of this opposition can be traced back to the very birth of Korea as a nation, which occurred in a context of profound ideological conflict. Attempts by moderate politicians to bridge this gap and transcend the left-right ideological divide have often met with limited success. This is largely because this ideological conflict is deeply ingrained in Korean society. Some politicians who have sought to occupy the political center have faltered due to their perceived insincerity in trying to attract individuals weary of the left-right ideological standoff. Consequently, some argue that a shift towards pragmatism, as opposed to adherence to strict left or right ideologies, is necessary. However, it's important to recognize that even pragmatism is not devoid of ideological underpinnings. Pragmatic decisions are often influenced by considerations such as whether to align with the United States or China, leading to characterizations of regimes as either pro-China or pro-US. Acknowledging this enduring reality of left-right ideological conflict is essential for a nuanced understanding of Korean politics. Let me check the historical background. Korea's history has been marked by significant challenges and external pressures. In the late Joseon dynasty, Korea faced invasions by foreign powers, such as France and Britain. However, the most consequential period of foreign domination came in the 20th century, with Japanese colonialism. Japan's forcible control of Korea set the stage for the emergence of the left-right conflict, as various groups sought national unity and independence in response to this oppressive regime. The March 1st independence movement of 1919 served as a pivotal moment in Korean history. It led to the declaration of provisional governments both within Korea and in other parts of the world. These provisional governments were established in places like Maritime Province, Shanghai, Seoul, and Pyongyang. After a series of developments, the Unified Provisional Government of the Republic of Korea was officially founded on September 11, 1919. During this time, influenced by the National Communist collaboration in China, even left-wing and left-leaning independents groups embraced the idea of a national united front. Following the liberation of Korea in 1945, the left-wing and communist ideologies gained significant support. In July 1946, the Left-Right Cooperation Committee was established, aiming to negotiate and engage in discussions between these two political factions. Just 3 months later, in October 1946, the committee successfully reached an agreement on the 7 principles of left-right cooperation, which were formally enacted. This historical achievement is considered a valuable asset as it demonstrated the ability to reach political consensus through mutual concessions that transcended individual ideas and ideologies. This historical context highlights the complex interplay of factors that contributed to the left-right conflict in Korean politics, and the occasional instances of cooperation and consensus building during critical periods in the nation's history. Following the Korean War, which endured from 1950 to 1953, Korea found itself divided into 2 distinct political ideologies. South Korea embraced right-wing politics, aligning itself with the United States and Western democratic values. In contrast, North Korea adopted left-wing politics, aligning with the Soviet Union and communism. This ideological division had a profound impact on the nation's development process. The First Republic of Korea, established on August 15, 1948, according to the Constitution of the Republic of Korea, marked the beginning of a republican constitutional system that endured until the April 19th Revolution in 1960. Syngman Rhee served as the president, and the ruling party was the Liberty Party. The Second Republic was established by the June 15th Constitutional Amendment, after the collapse of the First Republic, in the April 19th Revolution in 1960, and is the only cabinet-based republican constitutional system in the history of the Republic of Korea. The parliamentary cabinet system is characterized by a two-house system consisting of the House of Councilor and the House of Representatives. The president was Yoon Do-sun, and the prime minister was Jang Myung. The Third Republic was a republican constitutional system established by the revised constitution confirmed by national referendum on December 17, 1962, after a year and 7 months of military rule, caused by the May 16 military coup in 1961, and the president was Park Chung-hee. The Park Chung-hee government set the realization of the country's modernization as the main goal of national policy, and promoted a groundbreaking high-level economic growth policy by promoting a 5-year economic development plan to develop industry and dramatically increase exports. And they also aimed for war specials by sending troops to Vietnam during the Vietnam War. In addition, relations with Japan were improved, and the Korea-Japan Agreement was concluded. The Fourth Republic is Korea's fourth republican constitutional system, established through Yushin in October 1972, and is a one-presidential dictatorship, also called the Yushin system. In terms of economic development, the Yushin regime continued to build highways, entered the Middle East industry for export and construction, achieved exports of $10 billion, fostered heavy industry, achieved the miracle of the Han River, fostered the electronics, steel, shipbuilding, and automobile industries, and opened Subway Line 1. Hyundai Group, Gold Star, Samsung Group, Daewoo Group, achieved growth by achieving growth in the economy. However, afterwards, Park Chung-hee's Yushin regime strengthened the dictatorship and continued to oppress the people, ultimately leading to the end of the regime through a shooting incident on October 16, 1979. The Fifth Republic is the Fifth Republic that was created through constitutional amendments, following the December 12th coup in 1979, and the May 17th coup in 1980. After the Park Chung-hee regime collapsed, in the October 26th incident, Prime Minister Choi Kyu-ha briefly served as the acting Prime Minister, and then Chin Du-hwan, a soldier who took power through the December 12th military rebellion, created the Fifth Republic. In October 1980, The new military government promulgated a constitution that elected the president for a single 7-year term through indirect elections through the National Assembly for Unification, similar to the Yushin Constitution. Chen Du-hwan was elected president, and the new constitution was established in 1981. He was inaugurated as the 12th president. Accordingly, the people's expectations for democratization were again frustrated, but as a result of the democratization movement that did not give up, the direct presidential election system was accepted in 1987, and the era of democratization began. While we've primarily discussed political changes in South Korean society, it's essential to note that North Korea followed a distinct political trajectory. Initially, North Korea adopted a coalition cabinet system, including factions such as the South Korean Workers' Party affiliate, the Kapsan faction, the Soviet faction, and the Yarden faction. However, Kim Il-sung's consolidation of power began after the Korean War. He purged many South Korean Labor Party executives who were political opponents and expanded his base. Kim Il-sung's leadership faced a significant challenge in August 1956 when the Yarden faction attempted to overthrow him, the August sectarian incident, which ultimately failed. Consequently, the Soviet faction and the Yalin faction were purged, straining relations with the Soviet Union. Subsequently, Kim Il-sung further solidified his power by purging moderate forces within the Kapsan faction, establishing a monolithic political structure, and ushering in a long-term, hereditary left-wing dictatorship that would persist for several decades. Since the implementation of the democratic direct presidential system in South Korea, the country has witnessed a series of different administrations, each with its own political orientation. This trajectory has included governments led by figures like Roh Tae-woo, Kim Young-sam, Kim Dae-jung, Roh Moo-hyun, Lee Myung-bak, Park Geun-hye, and Moon Jae-in, culminating in the modern presidential system under Yoon Suk-yeol. Over the years, the political orientation of these administrations has alternated between right-wing and left-wing leadership, resulting in a pattern of right-right left-left left-right, right-left left-right. This alternating power dynamic between the left and the right has had both positive and negative consequences for Korean society. On the positive side, it has fostered diversity in the country and nurtured a more mature civic consciousness among its citizens. However, it's important to acknowledge that this has also led to ongoing, and at times intense, conflicts between the left and the right. At present, the prominent political parties representing these ideological positions are the Democratic Party of Korea, left, and the People Power Party, right. These parties advocate for their respective stances on various issues, including social matters, economic policies, and inter-Korean relations, resulting in significant political confrontations. Moreover, the influence of both the left and the right is amplified through the internet and social media platforms. This ease of information dissemination has led to a proliferation of offensive content and a negative political environment. As a consequence, political stress among the population has reached its peak due to sharp disagreements on several contentious topics, including the Itaewon disaster incident, the debate over nuclear power plant phase-outs, North Korean policy, perspectives on the Ministry of Gender Equality, views on Japan's handling of Fukushima nuclear contaminated water, economic policies, and more. The ongoing confrontation between the left and the right has substantial implications for political preferences, policy decisions, and the overall stability of South Korea's democratic system. While political debates are essential in shaping the country's future direction, excessive polarization and mutual hostility contribute to heightened stress levels and a diminished sense of happiness among the populace. It is one of the reasons why South Korea's happiness index tends to be lower, given given the severe political stress that citizens experience. Balancing robust political discourse with efforts to reduce polarization and promote constructive dialogue is a critical challenge for the nation's political landscape. Today, I thought about the issue of ideological conflict, which is considered one of the biggest conflicts in Korean society. In the Republic of Korea, which is divided into progressives and conservatives, conflict is deepening to the point where they are conflicting on every issue, and reconciliation is difficult. What can we do about the problems of our society, which is surrounded by ideology? With no politics in sight to resolve the conflict, the Republic of Korea has been split in half, and it now appears as if Korea is already in a state of civil war, both psychologically and politically. There are sharp and conflicting conflicts over issues, such as security and diplomacy, growth and distribution, labor and welfare. The fact that politics under the two-party system is not working properly is also inciting this ideological conflict. Therefore, I personally believe that by introducing a constitutional monarchy, the king will act as the country's leader, reform the national system befitting the world's 10th largest economy, and implement welfare and social reforms that will allow citizens to lead a minimum humane life. There is an urgent need for a new order that allows everyone to lead a healthy life.